The results-driven Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce invites you to connect your business with 1,000 other companies just like yours, including education and workforce development, healthcare, professional services, manufacturing, retail, nonprofit, trades and vocations, hospitality, among many others, and benefit with chamber programs and services such as government affairs, energy and economic development, small business assistance, networking opportunities, women in business programs, young people in business programs, and more. We invite your business to become a starring member of the Merrimack Valley Chamber today and see what difference this chamber will make for you. Join your community's most trusted, effective, and relevant business network connection today. The Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Bevilacqua. I'm the Vice President of the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce. I'm here with my co-host, the President of the Merrimack Valley Chamber, Joe Bevilacqua, and we'd like to welcome you all to another edition of the Merrimack Valley Chamber Means Business Program. Today we have another special guest. We have Dr. Sheila Hoffman, who is the Director at the North Andover Historical Society. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very pleased to be here.
Again, thank you for joining us. You know, we've been seeing some great changes take place at the North Andover Historical Society ever since you took over there, and we're looking forward to doing more there as well. But for those who aren't familiar with what the North Andover Historical Society is, why don't you tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So the North Andover Historical Society has been around for 30 some odd years, but we have recently gone through a major change. We took a building that was right next to us, moved into it during COVID. All this happened before I was there, so I appreciate the credit that you've given me, but a lot of people have been working towards moments like what we have coming up for a long time. And so we really appreciate what they're doing, but we have moved into what's called the Stevens Center, which is that great big brick building on the Common, and we're moving into the galleries. This used to be an old museum. It was the Textile Museum and the Printing Museum before that, but we've moved into one of the galleries fully. You can come see Child's Play, an exhibit of North Andover's kind of like historic toys and games and whatnot, but also we're going to be moving into the secondary gallery, which is going to be our energy wing. This is a very cool thing because we have a history museum here in our local area that is going to be taking a lens onto our history, our collective local history, but through this lens of energy. So energy is something that powers everything we do, from the time we're lighting fires and cooking over it to using the mills from water or steam powered or locomotion. Anything is coming from energy. And so we're going to put that kind of lens on history. And in the meantime, we're building out some of the community spaces as well. So if you have a community meeting, we've got a space for you potentially to rent it out or to meet there regularly. We have a 69-seat theater with Dolby surround sound. And in fact, it's like one of the coolest spaces in North Andover, I think, because you have...
It's a movie theater.
Yeah, it's a movie theater. It is a proper professional movie theater. And, you know, it's solar powered, it's geothermal, so it is cool and crisp in the summer, it is toasty warm in the winter, all solar powered. And we get this beautiful like sound because it's professional quality Dolby surround sound, massive screen around us. So you can rent it out and watch your favorite movies or have a birthday party and watch it.
Pretty cool.
Conference presentations.
And that's what the chamber wants to be able to do is to be able to bring attention to it in a very, very positive way, because people, you know, hundreds and hundreds of cars and people walk by there every day. You have no idea really what's inside there. When Michael and I had the opportunity to go for a tour with you, it was absolutely amazing, and we're looking forward to doing, you know, chamber programs there and invite other members of the business community and the community at large to come and take advantage of the space. Am I right, Michael?
Of course, you know, right across from the North Andover Common. For those of you who aren't familiar, that big area where people walk every day, you probably drove by a million times. It's right there, that nice brick building. Plenty of parking in the front. Plenty of parking in the back as well, and it's so amazing inside with the different displays. And you know, you were talking about energy, and it really is really cool because you get to see now what our ancestors did before us and how innovative they were and how that innovation has continued each generation all the way leading up to today. And go check it out for yourself, correct?
And check out how the geothermal and the solar-powered nature of that building itself is actually part of, it's a continuation of history.
Yes.
I always say we're making history. History is now, right?
Yeah.
So you can be part of that, not just seeing it. So we're not just some dusty old history museum. We're turning into something more. And I would love to invite the community and the surrounding communities to come and be a part of it.
Well, that's one thing, cool. The Merrimack Valley Chamber is, we've talked about this is creating a cultural historic type of program where we encourage organizations like yours to become part of the chamber and to talk about how we can help promote one another, because we want people to come see these locations, see these buildings, see the exhibits. And what surprises me so much is that you've been able to, you're one of the few, I think, history centers that have balanced the old displays with the new displays. So you bring attraction to all generations, which I think is absolutely amazing. And that's why we're so excited about our program that we're going to have with you, because people will see it for themselves. Am I right, Michael? In terms of seeing the old historic displays of the old artifacts of North Andover, but yet talk about the future. You've got the solar car there, you've got other aspects, as well as the fact now you've got a brand new cafe coming.
Yeah, another reason for people to stop by. If you're walking by or driving by, now you can have a brand new cafe to get people to stop in and have a great treat, as well as come check out the exhibits. But tell us a little bit about the cafe and if you know, like, what hours it might be open.
Yeah, so the cafe will be opening soon, and in fact we're doing an opening ribbon cutting event with you guys. I'm sure you'll talk about late September, and that is a target opening date for the cafe as well. And the wonderful thing about this cafe is that it, like so many other things, part of our nonprofit and cultural like energy around the communities, was aided by volunteers. So there's a husband and wife team in town who are restaurateurs. The Aversas is Diane and Rich Aversa, and they decided that they would build out this cafe and take that on for themselves as part of a contribution. And it is their own business, and they've leased it for the space from us, but it is really a contribution to the community as well. So if you want to be walking your dog on the common, come on in for a coffee and a pastry. They're going to be delicious. And we're going to have samples of them, I believe, when we open for the ribbon cutting.
I'll be a taste tester.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone can come and be a taste tester.
When you add the different attributes of what you have there, you know, as Michael mentioned, so many people have driven by there really don't know what's inside, but when you go inside, there's just so much to capture your attention, whether it be the solar displays that you have, whether it be the historic displays, whether it be the artifacts that you'll have open, whether it be the movie theater. It's just so much, and it's going to really appeal, I think, to so many different generations and people from not just North Andover, but from throughout the region. It's going to be tremendous.
And that's the one thing you mentioned as well, generations. You know, if you're bringing kids there, there's going to be something to capture their attention. If you're going by yourself, there's going to be something to capture your attention. If you're going to bring, you know, grandparents or parents or whoever it might be, you're going to capture their attention. There's really something there for everybody.
Well, and generationally speaking, this is a great thing to talk about. In July, we had a wonderful film fest called Sci-Fi in July. And we put up these movies that were from like the 50s, the 60s. They were very campy. I mean, people were laughing, all generations. We had old, we had high schoolers, we had everything in between. And it was really fun. We didn't have a lot of attendance yet because we're still building what that people know about us. But we are going to have an October film fest. We're working with North Andover Community Access, in fact, to put on kind of a film series from independent filmmakers towards the end of October, so we can watch some kind of like, not really horror, but fright, scary films like made by independent filmmakers, and also some historical films as well throughout October. On top of this, we're doing speakers and all sorts of things in the theater.
Now, tell everyone at home, you know, how they can find out more as well. What website, any social media so they can find out more and learn more about these different festivals coming up.
Well, like most nonprofits, we are indebted to social media for getting the word out. We are, of course, at North Andover Historical Society .org, not .com. .org. You can find us there, and we try to keep our events updated and our our main homepage updated as well, so you can find most of the information there. But we are also on Facebook. We are also on Instagram. You can follow us there. We sometimes put things on a site formerly known as Twitter, right? But, you know, that's in flux, so.
Yeah, you know, the Chamber follows the Historical Center on Instagram, and I love following it because you're always posting things that I say, what is this thing? And what, you know, when I read about it, able to find out more information, and when I come back in September, I'll actually be able to see it firsthand. So, you know, if you're not following them on Instagram, make sure to do so, because you really post some cool and unique stuff.
We do, about local history, about your history.
Mention, if you would, one of the things that I think is really an unknown attribute is the fact that you can actually have meetings upstairs in that conference, what I call the conference room. You've got a kitchen there as well. How many people about can you hold in there about? I know you've not really thought about it yet. But
I think the occupancy for that area is maybe 55 or 60.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And that's a nice big open room. You can put tables and chairs up as needed, as wanted, put them in a circle, put them facing the
So someone
wall.
could even have an all-day conference there because they have the
Sure.
cafe, they've got the kitchen, they've got the conference space to sit in and to learn, and then you got if you had a video presentation, you got the cinema.
And
The
free
theater.
parking.
And free
Yeah.
parking, which is great.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us the street address as well?
We're at 800 Massachusetts Avenue,
Yeah.
right on the Common, North Andover.
Right across the street.
Yeah, and some people used to know us from the small white building. They call it the North Andover Historical Society. It's kind of a big building, but it feels small next
Right,
to that big
next to the
brick
big
thing
one.
we have. And that's right next door, but we're right there. You'll see us. The doors are open, so come and just poke your nose in and see what's there. It's a very cool space.
Can people come now while the remodeling? So they can come right now while the remodeling is going on and everything else is happening.
They can, and it is free. It is free and open to the public, so you can come in, you can take a look at the exhibit that's open now. You can look at the exhibit space that we're working on to develop this energy exhibit. You can come look at the upstairs community room, and I've just put in a wonderful photography exhibit up there as well. Gayton Osgood, who was a local photographer, but also really a local historian and preservationist.
From North Andover, yeah.
Yeah.
And what hours are you open?
So technically,
And I know
we're-
it's changing, obviously.
Yeah, technically we're open to the public right now from 10 to 2 on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, 11 to 2 on Sundays. Now we expect those hours to change a little bit once the cafe
Sure.
is open, because the cafe is
Sure,
supposed
yeah.
to be open in the mornings, basically Wednesday through Sunday. So
Perfect.
8 to 2 is kind of what we're thinking now, but of course as the
And
business develops,
You'll be able to find it
it'll
all
change.
on the website. So.
Absolutely.
So as we
Really
begin to
great.
close down the episode, I just want to ask you, if someone hasn't been to the North Andover Historical Society yet, why should they go?
Well,
I know it's hard to answer that with one word or anything like that, but I know there's multiple reasons. But why would you say they should be attending?
Well, look, as the director of a historical society, I think we all participate in history. We all make history, and you can choose to make it and be part of it. And being part of it is sometimes just knowing about what happened in the past, so you
Sure.
can contribute to the future. So everyone should know their local history.
And
all
I really
history
think,
is
Michael,
local
it's
history.
really of interest to all age groups.
Really is.
Grandparents can bring their grandkids.
Of course.
Their sons or daughters or whatever. It's just an amazing place, and there's just so much for everyone. And you just don't know that from looking at it from the outside.
Yeah.
You've got to go in. And that's why we're so excited at the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce to be hosting an event with you to bring the people there, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, thank
this,
you.
This chamber, the Merrimack Valley Chamber, is really looking at the cultural and historical aspects of our communities now, and this is something we're really excited about. We're excited about all the different changes you're bringing on. So, on behalf of the Merrimack Valley Chamber, we just want to say thank you again for joining us today. Thanks for all the great things you're doing, and we look forward to seeing what's going to be happening.
Give
down
us the
future as
website
well.
one last time.
Thank you very much. It's NorthandoverHistoricalSociety.org.
Perfect. Well, thank you again
Thank
for
you so
joining us for
much.
another edition of this episode. And we want to thank you all for joining us for another edition of the Merrimack Valley Chamber Means Business program. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.